Imagine you are an astronomer sitting alone in an observatory at 2 in the morning, scrolling through data that has just come in from a telescope scanning the sky for anything unusual. Most nights this is routine work: asteroids, comets, space debris. The same old catalog of familiar objects moving along familiar paths. But on this particular night, something on the screen makes you stop scrolling. There is an object out there, moving in a way that nothing in our solar system is supposed to move. It is not orbiting the sun the way a comet or asteroid should. It is not behaving like anything in the textbooks. And within days, astronomers around the world will be staring at their own screens, asking the same unsettling question: what exactly are we looking at? This is not the opening of a science fiction movie. This actually happened. And it happened more than once. Today we are diving into the strangest objects ever detected in space, objects so bizarre that they left some of the most brilliant scientific minds on the planet genuinely baffled. Objects that, for a brief moment, made even the most cautious researchers wonder if we were looking at something that did not originate from anywhere near our home. Before we go further, let's set the stage. Space is enormous beyond human comprehension. Our solar system alone stretches for billions of kilometers, filled with planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and countless smaller bodies, all following predictable paths dictated by gravity. Astronomers have spent centuries mapping these paths. They know where things should be, how fast they should move, and what they should look like. So when something breaks all of those rules at once, it does not just raise an eyebrow. It sends shockwaves through the entire scientific community. That is exactly what happened in October 2017 when a telescope in Hawaii called Pan-STARRS, designed specifically to hunt for near-Earth objects, picked up a faint point of light behaving unlike anything ever recorded. At first, astronomers assumed it was just another asteroid, one of the thousands cataloged every year. But as they tracked its trajectory over the following days, something did not add up. The object was moving incredibly fast, far too fast to be gravitationally bound to our sun. It had entered our solar system from interstellar space, swung around the sun, and was now on its way back out, never to return. This was a genuine first in the history of astronomy. Never before had humanity confirmed the detection of an object that originated outside our solar system. Scientists named it Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word chosen to reflect its nature as a messenger arriving from a great distance. But naming it turned out to be the easy part. Understanding it would prove to be far more difficult, and in some ways, that difficulty has never fully gone away. The first oddity astronomers noticed was its shape. When they measured how the object's brightness changed as it tumbled through space, the variation was extreme, far more dramatic than anything typically seen in asteroids or comets. This suggested the object was highly elongated. Some estimates put it at 10 times longer than it was wide. Picture something shaped less like a boulder and more like a cigar, or a thin, flattened pancake tumbling end over end through the void. Nothing in our solar system looks quite like that. Most asteroids are irregular but roughly blocky. This thing was extreme in its proportions, unlike anything cataloged before. Then came the color. Observations showed the object had a reddish hue, similar to objects that have been exposed to cosmic radiation for extremely long periods, hinting that it may have been drifting through interstellar space for millions, possibly billions, of years before it ever entered our solar system. Think about that for a moment. This object may have been wandering the galaxy, untouched by any star system, since before life on Earth even existed in complex forms. And now, for a few short weeks, humanity got a glimpse of it before it vanished back into the darkness forever. But the strangest part was still to come. As astronomers tracked the object's path more precisely, they noticed something that should not have been possible. It was accelerating slightly as it left the solar system in a way that could not be fully explained by the sun's gravity alone. For comets, this kind of unexpected acceleration is often explained by outgassing. When a comet's icy surface heats up near the sun and releases jets of gas and dust, giving the comet a small extra push, much like a rocket thruster. This is well understood and well documented for countless comets we have observed. The problem was that this new object showed no visible signs of a cometary tail, no cloud of dust or gas trailing behind it the way you would expect from an outgassing comet. Telescopes searched for any hint of this activity and found essentially nothing. This left scientists with a genuine puzzle. If it was not gravity, and it did not appear to be outgassing in any way telescopes could detect, then what was pushing it? Some researchers proposed that perhaps there was a very faint, undetectable outgassing happening, just below the sensitivity of our instruments. Others suggested the object might be made of hydrogen ice, a highly volatile material that would sublimate without producing the usual visible dust trail. And then, a small number of scientists, including at least one respected astrophysicist from a major university, raised a far more provocative possibility. What if the unusual acceleration was because the object was not natural at all? What if it was artificial, perhaps a piece of technology from another civilization, something like a solar sail, thin and lightweight enough to be pushed by the pressure of sunlight itself? This idea, understandably, captured global attention. Headlines around the world speculated about the possibility of an alien artifact passing silently through our solar system. It is important to be clear here. The overwhelming majority of scientists studying this object did not believe it was artificial. Most maintained that some natural explanation, even if not yet fully understood, was far more likely. But the fact that this theory was even seriously discussed in respected scientific circles tells you just how strange this object truly was. When your best natural explanations do not quite fit the data, and a credentialed scientist is willing to publicly entertain the idea of alien technology, you know you are dealing with something extraordinary. Unfortunately, by the time astronomers had gathered enough data to seriously investigate these questions, the object was already too far away and too faint to study further. It slipped back out into interstellar space, continuing on a journey that will likely last for billions of years, drifting silently between the stars, its true nature still not fully resolved. To this day, this remains one of the most debated objects in modern astronomy, a genuine mystery that we may never fully solve, simply because we never had the chance to get a closer look. You might think an event like this would be a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, but remarkably, it was not. Just 2 years later, in 2019, an amateur astronomer in Crimea spotted another object entering our solar system from interstellar space. This one, later named Borisov, behaved quite differently from the first. Unlike the mysterious first visitor, this object displayed a clear, visible tail, unmistakable evidence that it was releasing gas and dust as it approached the sun, behaving exactly like a traditional comet. In many ways, this was reassuring to scientists, because it confirmed that interstellar objects passing through our solar system are not necessarily bizarre or unexplainable. Some of them behave exactly as our models predict, but even this second visitor carried its own puzzles. Analysis of the gases released by the object revealed an unusually high concentration of carbon monoxide, far higher than what is typically seen in comets that formed in our own solar system. This hinted that the object may have formed in an extremely cold environment, perhaps near a distant, dim star, under conditions quite different from those that shape the comets we are familiar with. In other words, even the more normal interstellar visitor was still telling us that the building blocks of other star systems might be subtly, or perhaps significantly, different from our own. 2 confirmed interstellar visitors in just 2 years led scientists to a fascinating realization. If we detected 2 such objects that quickly, simply by chance, with the limited telescope coverage we currently have, then these objects must be far more common than anyone previously assumed. Estimates now suggest that at any given moment there could be numerous interstellar objects passing through our solar system, most too small or too faint for our current technology to detect. Our solar system, it turns out, is not nearly as isolated as we once imagined. It is more like a busy intersection, with wanderers from other star systems passing through constantly, mostly unnoticed, carrying with them fragments of worlds we will likely never visit ourselves. This raises a profound question that scientists are still grappling with. If interstellar objects are common, and if some of them display genuinely unexplainable behavior, how do we prepare ourselves to properly study the next one before it disappears back into the depths of space? This is not a hypothetical concern. New, more powerful telescopes are coming online, specifically designed to survey the entire sky repeatedly, catching faint, fast-moving objects that older telescopes might have missed entirely. Scientists are hopeful that within the coming years, we will detect many more of these interstellar wanderers, and this time, hopefully, we will be ready to study them in far greater detail, perhaps even sending a spacecraft to intercept one before it vanishes. But interstellar visitors are not the only category of space objects that have left scientists scratching their heads. Our own solar system is home to plenty of strange, unexplained phenomena as well. Consider, for example, the discovery of objects in the outer reaches of our solar system, whose orbits are so unusual that they simply do not fit our current understanding of how the solar system formed. Some of these distant icy bodies orbit the sun in strangely clustered patterns, all tilted and aligned in a way that appears almost too coordinated to be a coincidence. This observation led some astronomers to propose the existence of an undiscovered massive planet, sometimes referred to informally as a hidden ninth planet, lurking in the extreme outer solar system, its gravity subtly herding these smaller objects into their strange synchronized orbits. Despite years of dedicated searching, no direct observation of this hypothetical planet has ever been confirmed. It remains, for now, an educated guess based on gravitational influence rather than direct visual evidence, a bit like detecting a person's presence in a dark room only by watching how objects around them seem to move on their own. Is there truly a massive, undiscovered world quietly orbiting far beyond Neptune, patiently waiting to be found? Or is there some other explanation for these strange orbital alignments that we have not yet considered? Either way, it is a genuine mystery hiding in plain sight within our own cosmic backyard. Then there are objects that defy easy classification altogether. Take, for instance, certain small bodies that seem to blur the line between asteroid and comet, showing characteristics of both categories simultaneously. Some of these objects were long classified as ordinary asteroids until, unexpectedly, they began displaying comet-like tails, releasing dust and gas despite existing in regions of the solar system where such activity should not typically occur. This forced scientists to reconsider the rigid boundaries they had drawn between different types of space objects, realizing that nature does not always respect our neat scientific categories. Space debris and unidentified fast-moving objects add yet another layer of intrigue. In recent years, sky surveys have occasionally detected objects on trajectories so unusual that researchers initially struggled to determine whether they were natural or artificial. In some cases, further investigation revealed these to be old rocket boosters or spacecraft components, remnants of decades-old space missions, still drifting silently through space long after their original purpose had been fulfilled. In other cases, the true origin of certain fast-moving objects has never been conclusively determined, leaving a small residue of genuine uncertainty even after exhaustive investigation. What ties all of these stories together is a humbling reminder about the current limits of human knowledge. We often like to imagine that modern science has mapped out nearly everything worth knowing about our cosmic neighborhood, that surprises are rare and mysteries are quickly resolved with enough data and computing power. But the reality is far more exciting and, frankly, far more unsettling. Space continues to send us objects that challenge our assumptions, objects that move in ways we cannot fully explain, shaped in forms we have never cataloged before, arriving from distances we can barely comprehend. Perhaps the most important lesson from these strange encounters is not about the objects themselves, but about how scientists respond to genuine uncertainty. In each of these cases, the response was not panic or wild speculation dressed up as fact. It was careful measurement, cautious analysis, and an honest acknowledgement of what remained unknown. Even when provocative theories, like the possibility of alien technology, entered the conversation, they were treated as hypotheses to be tested against evidence, not conclusions to be assumed. This is the essence of good science, staying curious enough to consider extraordinary possibilities while remaining disciplined enough to demand extraordinary evidence before accepting them. As our telescopes grow more powerful and our surveys of the sky become more comprehensive, we are almost certainly going to encounter more of these baffling objects in the years ahead. Some will turn out to have simple, if fascinating, natural explanations. Others may continue to resist easy answers for years, or even decades, teasing scientists with data that almost, but not quite, fits our existing models. And perhaps, someday, one of these strange objects will finally give up its secrets in a way that reshapes our understanding of the universe entirely, revealing something about the formation of planets, the nature of other star systems, or the sheer diversity of material drifting through the galaxy that we currently cannot even imagine. Until that day comes, objects like the mysterious interstellar visitor from 2017 will remain exactly what they were when first discovered. Silent, tumbling reminders that the universe is far stranger, far more dynamic, and far less fully understood than we sometimes assume. They pass through our cosmic neighborhood for the briefest of moments, leaving behind more questions than answers, and then continued on their solitary journeys through the vast darkness between the stars. Indifferent to the curiosity and wonder they left behind on a small blue planet they will likely never encounter again. So the next time you fatten up at the night sky, remember that it is not the static, fully mapped landscape it might appear to be. Somewhere out there, right now, there could be another strange visitor quietly making its way through our solar system, moving in ways we do not yet understand, waiting to be noticed by the right telescope on the right night. And when that moment comes, scientists around the world will once again find themselves staring at their screens, asking the same thrilling question that has driven human curiosity for centuries. What exactly are we looking at, and what can it teach us about our place in this vast, mysterious universe? That uncertainty, that thrill of not knowing, is precisely what makes space exploration one of the most exciting frontiers left to humanity. We have sent probes to nearly every planet in our solar system, landed rovers on Mars, and even managed to capture images of black holes from thousands of light years away. Yet despite all of this incredible progress, objects like these strange interstellar visitors prove that we have barely scratched the surface of what is truly out there. Every new discovery does not just answer old questions, it opens up entirely new ones we had not even thought to ask. And that ultimately is the real story behind these baffling objects. It is not just about one strange asteroid or one unusually shaped visitor from another star system. It is about what these discoveries reveal regarding the boundaries of human knowledge, and how much more remains hidden in the depths of space, waiting patiently for the day we finally develop the tools, the patience, and the curiosity necessary to understand it. Until then, we watch, we measure, we theorize, and we wait for the next strange light to appear on a telescope screen somewhere in the world, signaling that once again, something has arrived from the darkness, ready to challenge everything we thought we knew.